I found out my father paid my pregnant girlfriend $250,000 to disappear and then told me she died in childbirth, but 10 years later I ran into her sister and discovered my daughter was alive the whole time. Gradually, her hostility gave way to shock, then horror as she realized we had both been victims of my father's manipulation. She had spent years believing I had paid to get rid of her, just as I had spent years believing I had driven her away to her death. When I asked about Lily, Olivia became protective. She explained that Lily had grown up believing her stepfather was her dad, and introducing me into her life would be complicated. She wasn't opposed to it eventually, but she needed time to figure out the best approach. I was desperate to meet my daughter immediately, but I understood Olivia's caution. We agreed to take things slowly, for Lily's sake. Before I left the coffee shop, Olivia showed me more pictures of Lily, her first day of school, birthday parties, Halloween costumes, moments I should have been part of. Each image was both a gift and a knife to the heart. I returned home with a plan. First, I needed to confront my father. I didn't tell him what I had discovered immediately. Instead, I invited him to dinner at my house, set up a recording device, legal in our one-party consent state, and asked him about Olivia and the baby. As expected, he was dismissive, repeating his usual line about not dwelling on the past. I pressed harder, and he became irritated, asking why I was bringing this up after all these years. That's when I mentioned I had been to the city where Olivia lived, and his entire demeanor changed. He became very still, very cautious. I laid out everything I had learned, the payment, the forged emails, the fabricated death. Instead of denying it, he simply asked how I had found out. When I didn't immediately answer, he began justifying his actions. He had done it for my own good, he said. I wasn't ready for the responsibility. The family business needed my full attention. Olivia wasn't our kind of people anyway. He had made sure they were financially taken care of, so what was the problem? His complete lack of remorse, his certainty that he had the right to make this decision for me, for all of us, was staggering. This was the man who had raised me, who I had trusted, who had held me as I grieved for the family I thought I had lost. And he had been the architect of that loss all along. I told him I was done, with him, with the family business, with the entire toxic dynamic that had allowed him to believe this level of control was acceptable. He tried to dismiss me as being emotional, said I would calm down and see reason eventually. I played a portion of the recording back to him, making it clear that I had evidence of his confession, and told him that if he ever tried to interfere in my life again, I would not hesitate to let everyone know exactly what kind of person he really was. The next few months were a whirlwind of change. I resigned from the family business, started my own consulting firm using contacts I had developed over the years, and began making regular trips to see Olivia and work toward meeting Lily. My father attempted to reach out several times, alternating between apologies, justifications, and thinly veiled threats about what I was giving up, but I maintained my distance. Olivia and I developed a careful friendship as we navigated the complicated process of introducing me into Lily's life. Her husband was understandably wary at first, concerned about what my presence would mean for his relationship with Lily, but he proved to be a decent man who ultimately wanted what was best for her. 4 months after discovering the truth, I finally met my daughter. Olivia had prepared her as best she could, explaining that her biological father hadn't abandoned them as she had previously believed, but had been prevented from being part of their lives by circumstances beyond his control. We decided not to share the full truth about my father's manipulation until Lily was older and could better understand such complex betrayal. Meeting Lily was the most profound moment of my life. She was cautious but curious, studying my face as if looking for herself in my features. I had brought a small gift, a bracelet with a Lily charm, and she accepted it with a shy smile. We spent an hour together, talking about her school, her hobbies, her friends. It wasn't enough. It could never be enough to make up for the years lost, but it was a beginning. Over the next several months, our relationship grew slowly but steadily. Weekend visits became more regular. I moved to the same city to be closer, setting up my business there. Lily began spending time at my new home, gradually getting comfortable with having me in her life. As for my father, the rest of the family eventually learned what he had done. My mother was horrified, my siblings disbelieving at first, then disgusted. He maintained that he had acted in my best interest, but no one accepted that justification. The family fractured, with most siding with me, though some thought I was being too harsh and completely cutting him off. I struggled with that decision myself. Despite everything, he was still my father. I had 3 decades of memories with him, not all bad, not by a long shot. But every time I looked at Lily, every time I thought of the years stolen from us, the choice became clear again. Some betrayals are too fundamental to forgive. Update 1. It's been 6 months since my last update, and the journey continues to be both rewarding and challenging. Lily and I have been building our relationship steadily, finding our own rhythm and traditions. She stays with me 1 weekend a month now, and we have dinner together every Wednesday. These might seem like small things, but they're precious to me, ordinary moments of parenthood I never thought I'd experience. Lily has started calling me dad sometimes, though she still refers to her stepfather that way too. The first time she used the word with me, I had to excuse myself to the bathroom because I couldn't hold back tears. She's smart, perceptive, and has begun asking more questions about why I wasn't in her life before. We've stuck to the simplified version of events for now, but I know the day will come when she's old enough to hear the full truth. My relationship with Olivia has evolved into a functional co-parenting partnership. There are still moments of tension, inevitable given our history, but we're united in wanting the best for Lily. Her husband, Mark, has been surprisingly gracious throughout this process. He admitted to me recently that he had initially feared I would try to push him out of Lily's life, but now understands that I respect his role in raising her during the years I couldn't. As for my father, the situation remains complicated. He suffered a minor heart attack 2 months ago, which led to some soul-searching on my part. I visited him in the hospital, the first time I had seen him since our confrontation. He looked older, smaller somehow, connected to machines and stripped of the authority he had always carried. Our conversation was strained but less hostile than our previous interaction. He expressed what seemed like genuine regret, though it was difficult to tell how much was influenced by his vulnerable state. He asked to meet Lily, a request I gently but firmly declined. He might be my father, but he is not her grandfather, not until I can be certain he wouldn't hurt her the way he hurt me. My mother and siblings have met Lily, though. That first meeting was held at a park, neutral territory where everyone could interact in a relaxed setting. My mother couldn't stop crying when she saw her granddaughter for the first time, seeing features of both me and our family line in Lily's face. My siblings brought their children, cousins Lily never knew she had, and the kids hit it off immediately, running around and playing as if they'd known each other all their lives.